I'm your friend Dr. Charles Apoki, and I want to talk about precision thinking. Precision thinking. What is precision thinking? Accurateness, exactness, timeliness, and synchronization. God is a God of precision. You see, the sun, the moon, the oceans function in precision. God and his seasons can be predictable. His creation, we human beings are predictable. Precision. Our ears function with precision. Our nostrils and our lungs synchronize with our trachea. Our heart functions with precision. It will beat 70 times per minute if you are at rest, and your lungs come on spontaneously immediately you were born. Immediately you came out, you took a deep breath, and you cried to exhale whatever that was inside your lungs. Precision. What fascinates me is when I do surgery to do cesarean section. Immediately you bring the baby out, you cut the umbilical cord, you turn the baby upside down, slap the bum, the baby starts crying. And somehow the womb starts to contract. You remove the placenta, you clean the inside. As you are stitching, the womb is healing itself. Precision. God is faithful, exact, precise, and predictable. In fact, the rules that God set in the Bible that we call the commandments or statutes were put there for precision, for orderliness, for the safety of humanity and the continuity of humanity. And so, if we are created in the image and likeness of God, we should function in precision. When you travel outside Africa and you go to organized societies, you can predict when the bus will come. You will know that at so time the bus will come. You can call the police, you know how many minutes it will take them to reach there. Development is associated with precision because precision has exactness, has predictability, has synchronization, has planning, and has the concern of the people at heart, has the feelings of the people at heart, has consideration for the rights of the people, and it's called respect. By the time I will do the second video, I'll be talking about those who don't come early to places. We were to meet by 10 o'clock. Our mama was here exactly by 10. Raymond was here exactly by 10. In fact, I'm the one delaying them. That's precision thinking and precision acting. So, precision thinking in the Bible, you will see that Noah was able to build an ark to precision, specification. In fact, the Tower of Babel had no rods, had no concrete, but they were building a ziggurat that will go very high. It was based on precision and calculations. If you look at the mother of Moses, she built the ark that carried Moses with precision so that water will not go inside, will not seep inside. She knew when Pharaoh's daughter would come out. She knew where she would pass, and she placed the basket exactly where Pharaoh's daughter passed to notice Moses. And she placed her daughter Miriam somewhere such that immediately Pharaoh's daughter came out. Moses' sister Miriam stepped out, and she knew what to say that will bring the predicted reaction from Pharaoh's daughter. That is precision thinking. If we go to Eglon and Ehud killed Eglon. He made a sword that was 16 inches long, precisely tied it on his right thigh, so that when he was bringing out with his left hand, it was not predictable, and he knew what to say to the king. He has known the character of the king. When he said, God has a message for you, he knew the king will rise up, go to the inner chamber, dismiss his guards, and he stabbed the belly of the king with precise force, timed where the abdominal aorta was, and hit it. And the blood loss was so sudden, the king could not scream or hold Ehud. He left the dagger there because the pressure of the fat king against the dagger's handle provided hemostasis. Blood could not come out, flow out. Because if blood flowed, that would have gone towards the sitting room and the guards would have known. He opened the window precisely, ran out, got to a place before he called for reinforcement. Precision thinking. Tamar, the lady that slept with the father-in-law, acted on information, knew where the father-in-law would pass, knew how to dress and cover herself up in such a way that the father-in-law could not even detect the daughter-in-law. Slept with him and took a guarantee and an agreement, precise agreement that saved her life. What shall we say about the harlot, Rahab? Rahab was such a precision thinker. She knew the history of the nation of Israel. She knew what was happening in Jericho. She knew when the spy left to the palace. She knew what was the consequences were. She took the spies up. She did not delay. She was not shabby, covered them with flags, and was able to direct the soldiers in such a way that immediately they went out of the gate was locked. And she knew how to negotiate precisely for her family, her father, her brothers and sister. And she had precision thinking and organization of how to keep her family members in that her beer parlor for 7 days without attracting notice. And she remembered to tie the scarlet string on the window. And she knew how to package herself to become married to Salmon and became the great-grandmother of Boaz. So, most of those in the Bible who were recorded and made impact were precision thinkers. What shall we say about Jael and Deborah? Jael, when the king that was to be killed, that was terrorizing the nation of Israel, ran to her. She knew what she would give to him to be sedated, gave him milk. Milk has a soporific effect. Soporific effect is when you take a meal that will require digestion. Blood drains from the brain towards the belly so that digestion and absorption can take place. That's why you are sleepy when you eat a heavy meal or you eat beans. And because of the soporific effect, the terrorist king, Caesarea, whatever was his name, fell asleep, and she took a blanket and covered him. How did she precisely hit his head with a peg without shaking and pierced him to the ground? Precision thinking. What shall we say about Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus knew where Jesus was going to pass, knew the tree to climb, knew what to say to attract Jesus to his house despite the large crowd. What shall we say about blind Bartimaeus? Blind Bartimaeus knew when Jesus was going to pass and precisely predicted and knew when to scream out. And Jesus said, "Come." They told him he called thee. How did the blind man find his way to Jesus Christ? Precision thinking. The woman with the issue of blood also had precision thinking. I let you know this. Societies that do well are precise thinkers. Industry, in high-tech industries, the airline industry requires precision thinking. The plane, I was watching a plane land, take off. I saw the tires go into the tire compartment. It was still rolling before it entered. And it entered smoothly. And I don't know how it went off inside. Because if it's still rolling inside, it will burst, it will tear part of the plane. And when we were about to land, it came down. And then it started rolling. I was watching it. Immediately it touched the ground. It moved. Precision thinking. Airlines can tell you when they are going to land, how many minutes it's going to take from Owerri, apart from Nigeria. Precision thinking. Medicine requires precision thinking. Nursing requires precision thinking. Music requires precision thinking. Dancing requires precision thinking. Any person in any aspect that has done very well requires precision thinking. If you can't think with precision thinking, you will remain poor, remain disorderly, your life will not have planning. In fact, the fact that you don't do precision thinking is that your mind is disorderly. If you want to do well in life, practice the art of precision thinking. It will require meditation, deep meditation. It will require planning. It will require avoiding distraction. It will require focus. It will require courage. And it will require being dedicated to what you want to do. It requires calculation. That's why you see that in the fields where precision thinking will be needed, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology is needed. When you talk to people that say, I think, say, I thought that, I was assuming that, such people don't do well in life. because they don't pay attention to what you are saying to act precisely. In our next video, we're going to be talking about why people come late. You must have a friend who never keeps his promises. Does not keep his promises. I'm coming by 10 o'clock. You won't see the person. I will be with you in 5 minutes. He will not be there. You must have a friend who does not pay the monies he takes from you on time. You must have a friend who is not predictable. You must have a friend who forgets easily and does not carry out the activities he is supposed to do. You must have a friend who never keeps to time, never ever keeps to time, always comes late. In fact, one family had a member that is always going late to church. When she died, one of the uncles had to delay his corpse or her corpse in front of the church. He said, today you will not enter the church on time. You have been coming late. Not that the day you are dead, then you will enter on time. There are people. Why is it that we have colored people's time? Colored people's time is the behavior of people of color, African Americans, both in the United Kingdom and in the US and even Australia. If they want to do an activity in the United Kingdom or in the US and the activity is 10 o'clock, in the invitation card they will put 8 o'clock so that black people can come on time. The Nigerians in Australia kept the Prime Minister of Australia waiting for hours for an activity they planned for 11 o'clock. The King of Ashanti went to the UK and he was supposed to address the press by 11. He did not address the press by 2 o'clock, until 2 o'clock. By then, most of the journalists had gone. Why is it that we are finding it difficult to deal with terrorists and all that? It's because of lack of precision thinking. You need it in politics. You can accurately predict your enemy. You can predict your opponent, accurately predict your opponent. You need it in business. You need it in economics. Even in sociology, you need precision thinking. And if you are not ready to think precisely, you are not ready to grow. You are not ready to do well. And I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. But let me say this. I see people come to my post and make stupid statements. Some of them, they will say, all this jargon you are saying. If your brain is too small to understand what I'm saying, don't call it jargon. The reason I did not reply you is that you are not worth being answered. Your brain is too small to understand what I'm saying. When you go to a post, look at what others have been saying. If your small brain cannot understand what I am saying, don't open your mouth and say jargon there. Please be warned and take note of it. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.